Hi, I'm Sensei Steve, and we're here at Classical Martial Arts of Long Island, and we're going to be talking a little bit today about self-defense. That's a complicated thing. We teach self-defense here at Classical Martial Arts, and the reason I said it's complicated is it's got a lot of component parts that relate to many different situations. Most of us think of self-defense as, oh, I got to punch the guy, punch him in the head, I got to hit him, right? That's one part of it, sure. But the bigger part of it is often not being in a situation where I have to resolve it with punch, kick, throw, takedown, joint lock, whatever it might be. Long before we get to that point, we want to avoid the problem. Same in driving. Defensive driving is the best driving, right? You don't want to have the accident. If heaven forbid you have the accident, they got to get the jaws of life and get you out of the car. Hope they do. That's a wonderful thing. That's a last minute Hail Mary pass saving the thing. Yep. Wrestling with the guy, grabbing the guy, taking him down, throwing on Hadakajime, the rear naked choke and choking him out. Yeah, that's the jaws of life, right? That's important. That's important stuff, sure. But long before that, self-defense starts way before we're on the ground, wrestling around, trying to survive. So the most important thing in self-defense is what we call, in self-defense theory, the interview. What's the interview? The interview is when the person who wants to hurt you, the person who wants to be aggressive, starts looking for someone who's going to fit their bill, fit the narrative, who's going to fit that role. Now, I'm not talking about you get into an argument with somebody and someone's yelling at you and, you could diffuse it, you could walk away from it. If you could walk away from it, walk away from it. I'm talking about the kind of person who's looking to hurt someone. And that could be a career type of criminal who's looking to get money, who's looking to take advantage of you, looking to rape someone, or even, as in the news a lot of times you see about serial killers, right? Someone who is got some severe psychological issue, who's looking for someone to get to a secondary location and to really hurt that person, right? So in that kind of situation, that person's looking for a victim. They're not looking for you. Don't fit that role. Don't fit the bill. So that's really where self-defense starts. So first of all, you got to realize when you're being interviewed. You got to realize when the person is trying to get a little closer across your boundary, get a little closer to you, and keep your proper distancing. And the number one way that you fail to do that is this wonderful little tool. One cell phone, right? A cell phone. So in that situation where you're, I'm going to talk on a cell phone, I'm going along because it's interesting. It's more interesting than walking the streets, not engaging with your friends or with your social media. Well, all of a sudden your attention went from wide span and who's looking at me to what I'm looking at. And the person who's looking for you or looking for that person to fit the bill now notices that you don't even realize you're being interviewed. So, wonderful tool. Put your location services on. Let someone know, let a family member know always where you are when you're walking the mean streets, when you're going around. That's really useful. This is an amazing tool, right? The map functions on here, amazing tools to get you back and forth to where you have to go. But at the same time, wonderful way to be distracted and therefore become vulnerable. So don't let it take away your superpower. Your superpower is awareness. That's the first step in all self-defense is awareness. Second thing, at all times, humans are tool-building animals. We've built our society and everything with tools. So have a tool in your hand. This could be one. If I had this in my hand, I'm walking around, heaven forbid someone does come, accosts me, bothers me, tries to hit me, then I'm gonna hit him with cell phone. I gotta be willing to drop that tool if I have to, okay? But this is gonna hit more solidly than my hand, unless I've conditioned my hands. And we have around the dojo things to hit the hand with, but that takes time, right? So that's the one tool. But here, this is a kind of a hard tool to hit with, kind of more challenging. Let's talk about simple tools that you can carry. One of the simplest tools and probably the most dangerous self-defense tool there is a comb. It's a little rubber comb, right? So you can have a rubber comb, quick trip to the CVS or even Dollar Tree, you're gonna get one for $1, a little bit more than that, right? Why is this such a good self-defense tool? First of all, it doesn't look like a self-defense tool. It's not like a knife. If you carry a knife, heaven forbid you had to use it, but if you did, first of all, the ramification of carrying a knife is somebody gets cut. It's either the other guy or you, right? And either way, there's blood all over the place. Second, when the police come in that situation, they're gonna be like, why were you carrying a knife? Why were you thinking you had to cut somebody? And now you got a lot of explaining to do, or your lawyer does. Because we say in self-defense that every punch has a lawyer attached to it. So every knife has maybe a bunch of lawyers attached to it. So we try to avoid that problem. But here's the plastic comb. Plastic comb is very simple. Why would you carry it? I'm gonna comb your hair, obviously. I had one student, he was bald. He'd gone bald a long time ago, carried the plastic comb. He had a situation, he had to use a plastic comb. He said, how do you use a plastic comb? We'll talk about that in 1 second. But when asked by the officer, why do you have a plastic comb? He said, nostalgia. From the time he used to have his hair. So you always have an explanation for this. But the plastic comb in your hand is very useful. Heaven forbid someone grabs you. Heaven forbid someone goes and tries to accost you. Because most times, if we're talking self-defense, they don't come up, and gone are the days where someone challenges you to a duel. That's the movies, right? They don't come up and do that. They don't come running at you with a haymaker, right? With a haymaker punch coming over the top. That's maybe a drunken fight in a bar, maybe, right? But more realistically, in a self-defense situation that most people have to worry about is someone who has a perceived advantage, has interviewed you and thinks you're vulnerable, and they grab you, they pull you. They want to get you either to the alley or to the ground in a situation where you are more vulnerable. In that moment, if you have your comb in your hand because you are walking home, you just had it there, wherever you go and you get the habit of that, right? When they grab you and you go across their arm with the teeth of the comb, it's not going to kill them. It's going to make them pull their hand back because it's painful. Either there or their neck, as if they've been cut. Very simple, just real fast, or right across the face, right? This is the simplest tool. And if you drop it, you're not that worried about it. It was $1 at Dollar Tree. Off you go get another one. If you drop your cell phone, it's a problem. Or many people with self-defense say, oh, I'm gonna have my keys in my hand. I'm gonna hit him with my keys. Well, that might work. You might be able to hit him with your keys. You might be able to hurt him, but you might very well drop your keys. Now you drop your keys and now you can't get in your car. Now you drop your keys, you can't get back in your house. The keys, you need the keys. This is disposable, right? So that's number one, simple self-defense tool. Everybody can carry and no one's gonna get questioned on. And it is not a lethal tool, because if you use lethal force, well, you're gonna have to answer to 12 people. That's called a jury, right? So lethal force may be necessary, but lethal force is something you gotta account for. Right? So a knife is immediately going to lethal force. A firearm, immediately lethal force, right? So those are very complicated things, and we do talk about those in high-level self-defense class, but this is simple. Carry it. Everybody can carry it, whether you are a student, whether you're someone who's working, whether you're even in middle school. This is simple. Ain't gonna get you in too much trouble. Okay, that's one. Another one, real simple. Nail polish. Okay, now I gotta say, my manicure is not such that I use a nail polish, but nail polish, if you're carrying a little bottle of nail polish, the moment you're concerned, you're walking along, have it in your hand. And again, if you lose it, you drop it, you don't worry about it. You're not worried about losing it. But if it's in your hand, it solidifies your hand, that edge on the top of the cap now becomes a rough edge. Again, someone accosts you, someone grabs you, that edge across their throat, that edge into their eye, that edge hard across their hand, all of a sudden it interrupts their ability to act, as opposed to hitting with your hand. Unless you condition your hand, it's hard to hit with. If you have the tool in your hand, it's easier to hit with, right? And scraping that across someone is very disturbing. Many times, scraping force, as opposed to concussive force, is more disturbing to someone's neurology. It's the way the brain is wired. And so we want to interrupt their ability to act, right? We want to interrupt them. We don't want to get in a fist fight in self-defense. We want to get into a situation where we escape. Now one of my teachers, he used to say, in terms of self-defense, space makes time. You get space between the two of you, you have time to consider what to do. Time makes doubt. You create a gap in space, the other person has to come across the space towards you, they're going to doubt whether they want to come across that space. That's whether we're talking about an altercation in a bar, an argument, or we're talking about a situation with a serial killer, right? The more they have to come across, the bigger the movement has to be. The more they have to act, the less likely they want to do that. There's doubt, and doubt makes opportunity. That was his rubric. Doubt makes opportunity. So when there's doubt, you have opportunity to escape. That does not mean it's guaranteed. Right? But space makes time, time makes doubt, doubt makes opportunity. That's one thing you want to kind of commit to and understand. And that's why you must preserve your space. The interview from the bad guy begins with an intrusion into your space. And the less you protect your space, the more the person thinks that they can take more liberty with you. Protect your space. Okay, well, that's the second little thing right there, the nail polish. Third, right, nail polish, well, guys, maybe you don't carry nail polish, maybe you do, I don't know, it depends, anybody can carry nail polish, but you could also carry a little bit of chapstick, right? Same basic idea as the nail polish, it's more solid. You could even reinforce your fist by grabbing it in the middle, and it acts like a de facto brass knuckle, solidifying your fist, right? That's the chapstick, easy to carry. No one's gonna ask you about it, no one's gonna wonder why you have it. And if you lose it, you're not too worried about it, okay? Even, you could throw it at them. Right? You sling it at somebody who's gotten a little too close, they look back. Another self-defense rubric is 6 feet to safety. He steps back 3 feet, I step 3 feet away, I got 6 feet. Next thing you know, feet don't fail me now. Because here's one of the most important things in self-defense. Unlike a match where we're gonna compete, in a match where we compete, we agreed on the time, we agreed on the rules, we agreed on the equipment, we have someone to watch us who's a referee, and we agreed we're gonna do this. Okay. Therefore, you're going forward and I'm going forward. That's a match. Two people with their energies going forward. That's what you see in all sorts of professional matches or amateur matches. It's what you see in the UFC. Two guys going forward and they both know the rules. And if someone got hurt, they stop and call the ambulance, heaven forbid. In a self-defense situation, the other guy, he's the guy who set the time. He's the guy who set the rules. He's the guy who determined when and if it's gonna stop. And I did not even agree that I was going to be part of it. Suddenly I am. And therefore we're playing for something different because he's playing to go towards me. I've got to play with the objective to get away from him. And I have to get to a door. I have to get out the door. I have to get down the hallway. I have to get far away, far enough away. If I'm on the street, heaven forbid you're on the street in a city and all of a sudden something happens, you got to get into a restaurant, into somewhere. So therefore you're in a crowd, you're with other people, right? So your objectives are completely different in self-defense than they are in competitive matches. That's why you have to be aware of that. That's why you could be very good at competitive martial arts or competitive fighting and still have a problem in self-defense. Because remember, the guy who's trying to get you in that self-defense situation, he's gonna cheat. The best way to cheat is for him to have something that close quarters is gonna hurt you, like a knife, right? So, that's the first part about the interview. Last couple things in this is you might have glasses. Now, I'm not talking about your regular glasses. These glasses are reader glasses from CVS. Simple, couple dollars. Wouldn't even fit. I'd look a little funny with them, okay? But very useful for a self-defense tool, carrying them in your pocket, right? Little reader glasses. Again, if you take the edge of them, scrape someone, hit someone, even pull out the edge, the handle, reinforce that tip right there with the rest of it hanging loose, that tip right there towards the eye, the tip right there across the throat, right? All of a sudden someone goes, oh, they're not dead, ain't gonna cut them. Is gonna make them think they're cut. Is gonna make them think that you pulled a knife on them, right? You're gonna control their mind. They're trying to control your mind in that interview, get close, take advantage of you, exploit your vulnerabilities, and they're willing to cheat. Okay, well, you're the good guy. Well, maybe good guys don't cheat, but good guys gotta play smart, right? And you gotta interrupt their mind so they can't work their negative plan, their evil plan, and interrupt that, and then gotta get out. Feet don't fail me now. You're not gonna stand your ground. You're gonna go, right? Rabbits gotta go, not get eaten by the lion or tiger. Okay, last of these we're gonna talk about, very simple one, nail file, an emery board. This is a disposable one. It's just a little soft one, right? So, anybody with their nails, filing down their nails, know this, okay? Most women will carry this, they can have this in their purse, it's very common. It's rough, right? It's corrugated, it's rough. You take this and you go across someone's skin, like you're trying to light an old style match, right? And get that match to flame on, right? So just like that, you have this little rough edge. That rough edge against the throat, it's shocking. Against the arm, they grab you, it's shocking. Right? In that moment of shock, their mind is unclear, and there is your chance, your opportunity to interrupt their thought. Right? Now, you do have to be aggressive. You have to act immediately. You have to be brave enough. You have to focus. Right? Self-defense is not always easy. You've got to be the person of resolve. But these simple little tools are tools that change the tide of relationship. As I said before, humans are tool-building animals. You got to use tools to give yourself advantage. Those simple tools are easy to carry. They never get you in trouble with the police. And they're things that you could use and protect yourself if someone tries to visit violence on you, because nothing good happens at a secondary location. So if someone tries to get you to another place, someone tries to get you to a place where no one else can see, you got to fight like 10 tigers and get free, right? So thanks for listening, right? Again, I'm Sensei Steve over at Classical Martial Arts of Long Island. If you want to come by and train with us and do some of our self-defense classes, please do. You can find us online at www.classicalma.com. Have a great day. Thanks.